take a stand, bringing the truth to a fucked up land. We've had enough of the lies and deceit. We're done for good with the toxicity. All hail fans, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail fans, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail fans, we are the Rabyd Nation. We are the Rabyd Nation.
All right, and a hearty shout out to all of you in the Rabyd Nation, whether you are a paid citizen, a tourist who's only subscribed, or you're just looking across the border, wondering whether to immigrate to this lovely, wonderful country of mine, the Rabyd Nation. Welcome, one and all. You are all welcome here. Thanks to everyone for being here. Today, I am your host, Ed Rabyd, a former pastor turned atheist, now compassionate anti-theist, also known as the Rabyd Atheist. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Fireside Chat on a Monday. And with the opening question of why is presuppositional apologetics so easily rejected by so many people? I'm interested in the comments on that. But before that, a few announcements. There is, of course, a goal in chat. That's my polite, low-key way of asking for money to continue to support the channel. Whenever we reach that goal, I always wear the hat chosen by the poll in the chat. So, and there's actually a new option. St. Patrick's Day is March, so St. Patrick's Day is a couple weeks away. So I threw a St. Patrick's Day hat in there. So, and the Irish Plate and a few others, few perennial favorites. So there you go. Also, I pinned to the Discord link. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do so. I do agree with some. Don't be afraid to be active on the Discord. Don't be afraid to use it as a place to talk with each other. We're trying to create basically a place for all of you to go where you can feel safe. The mods, me and Earl, are basically, I think, looking for a place where we can talk, have a good time, and not be bothered by theists. So if you're into the fluffle of fangs, you're more than welcome. And let's see. I think that's it for announcements, other than I've been experimenting with intros and outros this week, and hopefully I'll have all my tools in place to start doing some videos. And starting the 17th, St. Patrick's Day itself, there'll be another stream. So I'll be streaming 5 days a week finally, being more of a continual podcaster type person. So stuff to look forward to in the Rabyd Atheist. But before we get into all that, we have to do a roll call. And before the stream even started, Donald Trump showed up. How are you doing in my country? Not really all that well. Speak of the devil. Let's see. Cranky is here. John from Holland is here. Nathan is here. Michael is here. Felicia is here. The mighty Philbert, whose music I am now completely using at last. The pinned invite always says invite is invalid. Okay, there you go. What's a presup? Hey, Dragon Rider's here too. Okay, yeah, so why is precept so easily rejected? Why is it that people just don't buy it? Now, I can tell you that when I was in Bible college, my apologetics professor hated precept. Okay, and he was an apologetic. It goes to a heart of the question of why even apologetics people don't like precept. And it's very interesting to me that some of them don't. And I think it's because they realize how bad it is, and they just don't like being associated with it. So, but yes, like Cranky says earlier, presupposition is easily rejected because, like all apologetics, it's always intended to placate the believer, not convince the unbeliever. And there's a lot of truth to that, because there's a lot of assumptions in precept. It's more than presuppositions. There's assumptions in it, like, God is the ground of all being, but they automatically assume that their God is the real one and the other thousands that have been proposed aren't. And they don't bother to prove that. They don't bother to prove that their God is the ground of all being. They just assume it. I think even apologetics people go, yeah, that's kind of a pretty wild assumption. So I don't know. Yes, the Discord could be more active, but we're just getting started. It's just learning to fly. I kind of point out that for me, the real thing with the Discord is that I used to use it a long time ago, briefly when I was online gaming, and I haven't used it since. And I'm still getting used to the what can I do with this? Like I'm, rubbing my hands to go, what diabolical scheme can I use to have the Fluffle Fangs take over the world? But I'm still, how can I use this to do that? There we go. See, I'm playing Mech Warrior Online. Some single games. We're old. Yes, we are. Do I think World War III is upon us? I don't know. I've been preparing for World War III pretty much all my life, ever since they did duck and cover exercises when I was in elementary school. Get under your desk and kiss your ass goodbye was what you began to realize after a while. But yeah, I like World War III has always being Gen X. My World War III has always been in the back of my consciousness since I was a child. So, but I don't know. I know that the polls in the United States aren't working well for this thing because like only 1 in 4 people approves of it. So depending on who the pollster is, to almost 50%, but it's underwater, the approval rating for the bombing. So, and every time Trump does anything else, of course, they pull up, well, what about the Epstein files? And it never goes away. So, yes, this is a topic near and dear to my heart too, because on the one hand, Felicia, I can understand why it's rejected so easily. Like presuppositional apologetics is rejected because, like, when you look at it, all its flaws and all the ways that it does things, it really is, it's bad. But then the question becomes, why do people cling to it? Like, what is the kind of person that clings to presuppositional apologetics becomes more my question, I suppose, because I find it very easily to reject. Like, there's so many things wrong with it. The circular reasoning and all that jazz, beyond presuppositions, it's like the assumption that your God is the real one, like, so there you go. But yes. Yeah, the real Donald Trump. Yes, I know. Like it's fake, but the thing is, he probably doesn't appear in chat, Michael, but because he was probably deleted. That usually is what happens, but he's still in my StreamYard, so I thought I'd show that to you. I thought it was funny. Precept apologetics are threefold. One, they're starting with the conclusion they already want instead of following the facts to whatever conclusion it leads. Yes, that's the biggest problem. 2, it often leads to the apologist reversing the burden of proof as a result. And 3, in the same tried and failed bullshit that has been attempted over and over again. Yes. So you can provide more Pogon poetry. Okay. Fair enough. Just make sure you put a warning label on it, Michael. Just make sure. Like, if you're going to do Volgon poetry, you have to put a warning label on it. Reversing the proof isn't an accident. Their theist God is an unfalsifiable consummate. Reserving the proof of proof is an instant win. Yeah, it's my God is the grounding of all being, prove me wrong argument. And it's been that way since the beginning with presuppositional apologetics. Like, presup is not a new thing. Okay. Like, it's been around for a while. Van Til's arguments, I would argue, like Alvin Plantinga's got some of that in him, but he's not quite as bad as Van Til. But it's the continued I'm right, prove me wrong mentality. And it's probably why my apologetics prof in Bible college rejected it so hard, because he started his lectures with, if you're going to make a claim, you're the one that has to back it up. The burden of proof is on you. So the burden of proof is on the apologist to prove the truth claims of Christianity. That's kind of how he opened in his first class in apologetics. And after that, he didn't have a lot of love for it. Now he had us go through all the arguments for the existence of God, and we had to play devil's advocate and go after them and stuff. This is back in the 90s before you could look up anything on the internet. So you had to like go to the library and get a book. And so, he'd give us prep questions for the next lecture, and we'd have to go look stuff up and things like that. And it's kind of where I learned how flawed apologetics was. So I reject precept simply because it's a flawed position to take. It has no internal structure. It is purely a mechanism that requires ridiculous internal commitments like evolution. Yes. And I think that's why a lot of other Christians, like the thing I'm saying it's easily rejected is it's not just rejected by us atheists or agnostics or critical thinkers or thinkers from other religions. It's rejected within their own camp. Like, I've heard Christian apologists talk about precept as if it's the unwanted child in the room. Like, it really is. Like, people don't like it even in their own camp. And I think it's because of what you just pointed out. It's a commitment to an idea, regardless what evidence or proof is presented. And so you don't need any. So maybe. Fangs sometimes gives karma for good behavior, bad. I don't know. Like, I don't sure if Fangs believes in karma. Like, he's a sneaky little bastard sometimes. So, like, he doesn't get karma for his bad actions, like stealing people's stashes. Just ask Cranky. Cranky will do that. So, what do you mean by cling? So because its adherents are assholes. I mean, I can meet their logic with okay. Hey, Martin, good to see you. Oh. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he lets you deal with the consequences of your actions. Yeah, his reward for good behavior is sharing his stash because he stole it anyway. He doesn't have a problem sharing stuff he stole. Good shades of it. Oh. I know that last poetry was requested. I think Earl loved it. She loved it. So yeah, he isn't really a presuppositionalist, but he has some things that kind of lean that way. Like, he does do one of the things that feels presuppy is he talks about basic beliefs. Like, we all have basic beliefs and stuff, and it's like, but when you compare what he does with basic beliefs to precept, there's there's shades of precept there, but I would agree that he's not completely precept. But he has, I liken to this, like Van Til is the Mott and Flanagan is the Bailey. Like, he says a lot of things that are far less controversial. But he has also said stuff, like, what do we care what heathens think about us? We just believe. There's an element in Flanagan of, well, it's the witness of the Holy Spirit anyway. So there you go. Oh no, never has. Okay. Yeah, I mean, his modal argument is still horseshit. Yeah. So, or it's not horseshit. If you can sort of say, if you believe in God, then it's rational if you believe in God. I suppose that's supposed to be. Yeah, it seems to be. Precept is fine as long as all parties agree to the claim. It's not. If not, then they require evidence as usual. It's a shortcut, not an argument. Oh, absolutely. Every theist does presuppy things. Okay, but I thought that the existence of like memory beliefs in Flanagan was interesting. I remember reading that in his book, one of his books, a long time ago when I was in seminary, and it's like, the idea that you believe in other people, like other people exist. You believe that. Do you really have evidence for that? And I'm like, well, yes. You have memory beliefs, but that's, once again, that's kind of testing. Like, if I go back and forth between work, I kind of believe that work and my home exist because of repeated testing. Yeah, I think he's the one that was my initial exposure to, you believe in trust the chair, I mean, this must be one of his older books, but yeah. That debate? Yeah, that's a long talked about. How long ago has been the Ham Nye debate? When did that happen? That's pre-COVID, ain't it? It's amazing how we judge things based on pre-COVID. Yeah, it's circular horse shit. But yes. Yeah. I think what happened there is like the thing with the Bill Nye Ken Ham debate for me um, is I think I'm glad in some ways it happened because I think Bill Nye just absolutely mopped the floor with Ham. Ham just like got beat up. On the flip side, I think it gave Ham more popularity and publicity than he deserved because I think he launched off of that to like, see, we got to find a way to defend creationism, and that's been the basis of his making more money. And so the whole thing in Kentucky with the Ark encounter exists in large part supported by money that came off of that debate for Ham. So yeah, Flanagan in his public gets very sloppy with like knowledge and believe. Yeah, and I think that's where I have my problem with Flanagan. Like when he does gets away from the academic stuff and he starts writing his books for popularity's sake in the Christian market, he does get very sloppy, and it shows. S5 modal logic. That's the only thing that makes it technically not circular. Yeah, I suppose. The modal logic. It's about wrestling with a pig. Yeah. It gets you nowhere and it annoys the pig. But thank you very much, Josh. Appreciate it. That's one out of 5. There you go. But yeah, I remember that debate very distinctly as being something. Well, I watched it. And I'm like, yeah, this is not going well for Ham. Ham's got his talking points, and Nye's got his facts and evidence in a line, and it was a good debate in that respect. But then I remember that Ken Ham kind of used it to launch his current like fundraising efforts, and that continues to this day. That's why he's able to get so much money. Is he became popular because of that debate, even though a lot of people, including many Christians, think he lost it. So yeah. You don't help your social outcast. I've experienced this about in every church. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, is he referring to logically possible, or you mean he's writing I am, but in S5 there's a specific meaning to possible which he exploits. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, modal thing is still kind of a baffling thing to me. I don't know. I think somebody mentioned we're getting old, and I think my brain is getting old sometimes. I try to wrap my head around some of these problems, and it seems like it's the same bullshit to me, but I can't exactly give you details. Oh yes, the possible worlds thing. Yes. You're rereading Stranger in a Strange Land. You made me miss hanging out with Mike and the gang. Oh, I'm so sorry, buddy Philbert. I like that book because there's a Messiah figure in it. Michael is, Mike is a very interesting messianic figure that Heinlein creates. It's just he's different because he's a human being raised by another completely alien species, and it makes him a different person. So yes. So I was pretty new to watching debates when I watched the Nye versus Ham. So I was like, damn, there is no way that this clown shows his face again. My man Bill destroyed him. It's still baffling how wrong I was. Yes, because here's the thing. Blossom. What Ham did, okay, what Ham did was pretty much he said, listen, the reason I lost that debate is that I didn't have all the good prep and science people like Bill Nye does. He really launched into this idea, Ham did, of see, they're trying to take over, they're pushing us out. We need better support, we need better financial backing, we need better research. Like he pushed the whole, we're going to prove creationist angle after that. And because so many people believed in it, they just backed him. And he, strangely enough, Ken Ham got bigger after the debate, even though I think he got crushed. Like, so, what do I think of it? What do I think of multiverse theory? Possible, I guess. Like, I have gotten more comfortable since being an atheist of saying I don't know, or that's not my field. But I'm not an astrophysicist, and I'm a guy who reads astrophysicists with a lot of interest. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that. So I find it fascinating. It's great stuff for science fiction or fact. It could be possible. In another universe, maybe I'm still a Christian. So I don't know. Maybe. The Menace from Earth. Oh, yeah, that's a short story. Yeah, it's pretty good. They're all good. There's a lot more. Like, here's the thing with Heinlein, Phil. He's the basis of almost all science fiction tropes to this day. Like the puppet masters is definitely Invasion of the Body Snatchers all over again, et cetera, et cetera. Like he's, everything he writes is now a trope. Him and Asimov and Clark, kind of the golden age guys, kind of have created all the tropes that everybody uses to this day. So banking issue to deal with. Well, down even academically is irrationally to believe in God if you already believe. It's devoid of value. Yes. It doesn't really add anything to the conversation, if you ask me at that point, does it? It is harder to prove. I don't know. Maybe I am that kind of physicist. I do like watching that physics, I guess, in action. There's a version of me that doesn't think celery and peanut butter is disgusting. Yeah, possible. Possible worlds, possible universes. What should you say to creationists who say black holes don't exist? Boy, am I beyond a point where I can reason them with them at that point? Like, something I've had to accept in dealing with theists is that, and I used to be this way on certain issues, is like, can I actually have a conversation with some of them when some of what they say doesn't exist is like basic to me? Like, I don't know how to have that conversation sometimes, and sometimes it's better just to walk away. But black holes don't exist. I think the astronomical data is pretty, we have this thing that's this hole in space that seems to suck everything to it, so we call that a black hole. Like, to say that doesn't exist, it's like you're saying basically that human beings aren't allowed to name something that they see in space. Like, I don't know. Another universe, I'm a pastor of a megachurch in Utah. Yeah, I have them all. I've collected them over the years till I have them all, but some of them are like some of his early stuff. You could tell he was just learning how to do what he was doing, but I'm not really interested. Here's one thing. While Ken Ham did get owned in said debate, Ham did win to an extent that he was able to get. Yeah, it was an exposure thing for him. Like, he got so much exposure that all the Christian creationist backers, bam, like, so he he got all kinds of money. Like I was flabbergasted because when like Shannon Q and Paula Gia do their New Year's Hammy New Year every year, and they were talking about how much money he made just last year, and he's still asking for more. Like, and he's still expanding. And like, no matter what you do to debunk Ken Ham, he seems to always have more and more money. Like he always seems to have something coming in. And it's because he plays on the naivete of people and creationism. They want to believe their holy book. They're fundamentalists, so they keep throwing him money. And I think there's a big backer back there. I know that there is, and you can't find anything about them. Like what's their motive there is. They're completely anonymous. So somebody's handing him a rather large check too. So, but he doesn't ever talk about it. So, yeah. Celery and peanut butter is an evil combo, though. He does write himself in a lot. He gets away with it because back then you could do that. Something in brown holes. I can understand being confused by the idea of black holes more than, say, claiming evolution doesn't exist. Black holes don't make sense intuitively, but evolution does. Yes. Atheists must be very careful with who controls the debate, otherwise it's effectively the debate version of feeding internet trolls. Ignore them and they don't get too much. Yeah, and that's kind of been my... See, people ask me sometimes why I don't debate, and that's one of my major reasons is because I do not want to put somebody in a position where they gain exposure because of me. Like, I don't want to justify them. Like, I remember... speaking of unpleasant conversations and pre-suppers, I remember like it's probably over a year ago when Jim Bob began to show up into my life and he wanted to debate me. Like he was debate me, bro. And I'm like, no, I don't do that. And it's because I'm like, dude, your stuff is just so bad. I don't want to justify that. I don't want to do it. Einstein believed in them, alpha. Yeah. Watch Bill half of there's an edited version he gets rid of. Yeah, I think Blossom, there's another version of the debate where Bill Nye goes through the debate and adds some things he wish he had said and other things, and it just makes it even worse. So debates are purely performative, and apologetics is all about a performance and presentation and speaking with confidence and artificially manufactured authority. And that's what they like. I think they benefit from debates even when they lose because of that. It's all about performance, and if they can feed that persecution narrative, like they can absolutely make more money off of that. So, hey, thanks, Cranky. Nibble that like button. Yes, please hit the like button. It gets me noticed. Yes. Yes. Oh, gosh. Yeah, genetically modified skeptic doesn't debate anymore for that very reason, too. Like, he feels like he ends up giving the people he's debating more credence than they deserve, especially if they're Christians or creationists and all that stuff. Yes, I have a history with Jim Bob, going back over a year. Felicity. My tongue is not working today. Felicia. There's actually a small playlist of, I think, 5 videos of me and Jim Bob in my playlist section. You can watch that for your entertainment purposes. And so he did that. Like, he came on me. It was the quickest person I've ever banned on my channel because of how outrageous he was. So I'm like, no, I'm not platforming that. Thanks. So there you go. Yeah, because that's it. It's not about winning the debates. He's about entertaining the arena. And, it's about building up the faith of his followers. It doesn't matter. It's about him getting exposure, and he makes money off of it. That's the sad part. They don't even debate him, no. With Jim Bob, exactly what I heard people say. I think Planet Peterson, oh, well, he's a nice guy, and that may be true, but he's still wrong. Actually, there are some people that, I don't know if BS is here, but BS has had some relationship with Jim Bob, and will say to you that Jim Bob's thing is an act. Like, I definitely think it's an act. Like, he's just doing it because he gets the clicks and the likes. So, but yes. But I remember, I think BS had some run. I know BS had some run-ins with him. I had a few run-ins. I reacted to 3 of his, arguments against atheism videos, and basically said, this is just bullshit. And he didn't like it. Like, he didn't like that I just was so dismissive. And so he had a fit about that. I saw him, like, he was on Saturday Night the Atheist, was kind of reacting to Jim Bob over on Answers in Atheism. So. Speaking of which, have we had a captive desk sighting in a while? I'm worried about Dave. So if anybody know how he's doing, I would appreciate a report. So yeah, I agree. I think it's an act, and I get you, because I'm a guy who picks up propaganda in 5 seconds, and Jim Bob's all about propaganda. Like, it's why I won't talk to him. Like, I don't talk to him, and I usually don't talk about him, but like, it's like, and so, yeah, don't hang around with bullies either. He tends to bully people too. And I got to a point, it didn't take long either. Like, if you go back, like, there's a comment section where I like, no, I'm done with you. He was just being insulting. Like, you're just stupid and a dummy. And I'm like, well, there's 2 name callings, 1 more and you're done. And he did it again, and done. Like, I was pretty strict about the name calling thing back then. I lightened up a little bit, but because I know people get heated, but it's like, if you got to resort to name calling, I've got to ask a question. How good is your argument at that point? And it must not be very good. So, oh, yes, that's the point of propaganda. The thing with propaganda is you can propagandize anything. Like, the real trick with propaganda is to put your opponent in the worst possible light and put you in the best possible light. Okay, so it's all about steel manning your own stuff and absolutely straw manning, if possible, the opposition. And when it came to Jim Bob, the 3 videos I reacted to of him, it was straw manning all over the place for his opposition. I mean, he did. I think one of them was on the argument of evil, and the problem of evil, and he literally took the weakest argument form for the problem of evil, in my opinion, and then straw man that and put it up against his Christian logic. And it was like, no, that doesn't work for me. Here, let me give you the real hardcore problem of evil, and let's see how you do against that. And I don't think he liked it when I did that. Yeah, me too. I know it's hard to believe. My 6'4", 275-pound personage that has lifted weights off and on for many years used to be a real skinny guy, about 6'3" and 175 pounds when he was in high school. And so until I started playing football, I got pushed around a lot in middle school. So bullies are something I don't have a lot of tolerance for. So another process they learn and get your reaction to them. I was impressed on how they care. Yes, like Felicia, there are some theists out there that agree with me that the rhetoric is over the line, and they don't like apologists for that very reason. There's several apologists out there that actually say, listen, guys, you're making claims that you can't back up. And there's a lot of people that are theists that are understanding that the rhetoric isn't all that helpful. Like, it's something that you can talk about. And I've talked with some people that have been very good. Like, when I started this channel out, there was a guy that used to come out and he used to talk to me. He was a theist, but he was always respectful. He he was always good with that. And then he just kind of disappeared. Like, I don't know where he went. And I didn't have a good way of contacting him, so I don't know where he went. But yeah. You talk to him, he just again, if he's a propagandist on that, he will be a propagandist with you about why. Yeah, it's kind of proof he lost the argument. That's why I try to. I don't believe in God because the evidence for the existence of God is unconvincing. I'm not sure the question's valid. You're putting me into what I would. There's other options there, not just those two. I feel like that's a false dichotomy. So. Used to being bullied by 5. Yeah, I know. Is it reality? There we go. That someplace has some great lectures, yeah. The only thing is I've had good conversation with those process theologians online. Theists are generally cool, like most other humans. Yes, they are. But the problem with this question is it's, if I can be blunt, okay, it sounds very presuppositional. Apparently, my title attracted some of you, but you should ask a better question. Would be, what is the basis of your atheism? Because then that allows me to open up and talk about it. My basis is I've examined the evidence for a claim for God and found it unconvincing. And so therefore I don't believe in a God. It's all about belief. Okay, so I don't believe in God, period, full stop. There's not really much else to that. I've come very close to saying that there is no God, but I'm not quite there yet. I don't know if I know enough to make that statement. So. Theisms are statements about specific personal belief of something existing or not. Yes. So. I had a proven reality. Okay, so you're saying is that a proven reality? No, an agnostic atheist isn't going to talk about whether God is proven in reality or not. They're going to say that the proposition that God exists just doesn't convince them given the current level of evidence. So it's in their head and reality. You're not even allowing for the possibility that the evidence in reality isn't convincing, and thus it's also in their head that it doesn't exist. This is once again, I think it's a false dichotomy question, and it doesn't really get to the issue. So it's really a weird question, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I could ask the same: is theism in your head, or is it an established reality? Okay, and if you say, well, it's not established in reality, it's in my head, well, then I'm no better or worse than you, ain't I? I don't. It's not. There's no truth claim being made here. So. Can't prove that any God exists. How do you know that your God is the right one? And it becomes I know that this is a little bit more relaxed in a fireside chat format, but yes, I'm not here to be preached to either. So. Okay, but you have made a truth claim at that point. You said that atheism only exists in my head. Prove that. It's an unfalsifiable claim, which makes it nearly useless. If you state that atheism is only in my head, you've just made an unfalsifiable claim. And this is why presuppositional apologetics doesn't work for a lot of people, including Christians. It doesn't. The issue, if you make that claim, prove that it only exists in my head. You're making a Romans 1 argument, basically, in a sense, because you're saying that I actually do believe or don't believe, and it's all in my head, but I haven't proven that in reality. Well, you haven't proven your God in reality either. So what's your point? Yeah, and And because your belief in a God falls in the same category then. Like you haven't proven anything other than whether we believe in God or don't believe in God, it's in our head at that point. But what about reality? Have you proven God in reality? No. Like your evidence for God in reality is a no. So it's in the hell. So scared bullshit yet? No. Thanks, Martin. No. I'm sorry. Believe exists in reality or in your head. It clearly exists in your head and has not been proven. And clearly, belief in God is in your head and hasn't been proven in reality either. So your point is, also, you're saying that my non-belief is only in my head. So that's a claim yourself. You haven't proven that. Okay, you haven't taught. You keep talking about the head, but you don't talk about the reality and the fact that you don't have anything in reality either. Because if you did, I would be convinced there's a God in both my head and reality, but you don't have any evidence for reality. And this really feels like you're asking atheists to prove their atheism. And it's like you still haven't proven your God. So there you go. Yeah, it's a philosophical gotcha word game and to prove God. And honestly, it's not really working for me because I can easily say the same thing about you. Okay, like, my fictitious deity of fangs, I mean, is your non-belief in fangs in your head or in reality? Like, it's the same question, okay? I can insert any deity in the word for God there, any name of any deity that's ever come up with, and what does it prove? Nothing. Okay. Yes, he's trying to reverse the burden of proof, and it's a yawn. So I once again, this is why I brought this up as a topic because I figured there'd be a presuppositional bro show up. Cranky did too. But it's like this is why it doesn't work because the presuppositionalist doesn't think that his arguments literally will work the same if I put any deity in them. They haven't proven that their Christian God or the God they believe in is the reality in the first place. And I can insert any deity like fangs. Like I can say fangs is the ground of all being. Prove me wrong, bro. Like this is the problem with the whole game of presupposition. It's all about trying to reverse the burden of proof on the non-believer. And the non-believer is saying, man, give me some evidence that convinces me of God. And you can sit there and play that, hey, is your atheism in your head or in reality? It's just in your head. You haven't proven it in reality. And I can say, well, congratulations, you're the same. Your belief in God is all in your head. You haven't proven it in reality. Congratulations. How does this work? How does this get us anywhere? It doesn't. Okay, accept the burden of proof, prove the existence of God in reality, and then we'll all be able to share in the joy of that moment. Like, I don't know. So, yeah, it worked. I'm trying to start with questions with every stream now because I'm heading into streaming every day. And so starting off with something is always good. I mean, this fireside chat can go anywhere it wants to. It's kind of the whole point is to just have it go where it wants to go. So, but there's that. Yeah. You cannot let the atheists be unanswered. You have to answer them a little bit. So there you go. Also means that belief in a God, the prefix constants, hence lack of belief. Yep. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, my non-belief exists in my head, but you haven't proven that your God exists in reality, so it reinforces the non-belief in my head. Like it's like you haven't done your part, bro. So yeah, if Islam's true, all the Christians are going to hell. Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah. Yes, we have baby pictures of fangs, see? I think it's a very convincing proof that fangs exist. We have baby pictures of fangs. Do you have baby pictures of Jesus in the manger? Because I got baby pictures of fangs. So prove Zeus isn't God. Yes. Yeah. Okay. care if God exists. He's a shit designer. Yeah, Fangs does a better job at design than that. Like he at least comes up with something that works on occasion. He can at least steal your stash with fairly good effectiveness. So yes. Oh, all right, folks. Oh my goodness, that was fun. That was fun for a moment. Because I knew they were going to come out. Like sooner or later, one of them is going to show up and drive their stuff. But it's like, is your belief in God in just your head or in reality? Well, it's reality. Well, prove it's reality. If you're going to say that about me, I can say that about you. Like belief in God or not belief in God, yeah, maybe that's all in your head. But the reality is the question, isn't it? That's all you've proven. Okay, well, where's your evidence for your God in reality? Well, I don't have any. Like, okay, so thanks, bro. Appreciate that. So I'm still justified in not believing in God. Thanks. Appreciate it. Like, it's a horrible argument. I don't know why they think these things work. Like, they come up with these tactics and arguments, and it's like, did you even bother to think about how this could be attacked? Like, yeah, I know, I'm a provoker. What do I do? It was all my excuse to put up a picture of baby Fangs, Martin, and I think I'm fully justified in doing that. He's literally the cutest deity ever. Like, let's be honest. Can't trust him, but he's very, very cute. But like I've made this argument so many times. It's like you can literally use presuppositional argument tactics for any deity that exists or what that you want to make up. Like I can literally, it's why I made it. So well, there you go. Yeah, it's just a dumb argument. Like that was a dumb argument. Like it's like I wouldn't have done that when I was a Christian. I'd be like, yeah, but they can argue right back to me that my belief in God is just in my head. Like that's a reality. Like it's something that definitely I could do. Like every time I hear a presuppositional argument, I'm like, I can insert any God into that. Okay. Yes, Fang's ears do show you that he's willing to listen to your problems. He will listen. Whether he does a damn thing, like I don't know that he will. Okay. Anyone who claims God is an intelligent designer is required to explain why we need glasses, back surgery, appendix removal, wisdom teeth removal, hearing loss, etc. Sounds pretty dumb to me. Not to mention, like, how is it good design to put the fun parts of your life next to the waste disposal system or use the same thing for both? So there you go. They should be exposed in a Reddit question page. Yeah, frequently asked questions on Reddit about presuppositionalism. Yes. But yeah, it's like, it's horrible. It's just bad. All right, folks, I'm going to try something new. I have an interlude, so I can take a quick break and I'll be right back. But we're going to be using something like this to kind of get everybody a break. I usually need a break about halfway through the stream, and so I'm just taking some action to do that, and I will be right back, and I'll see you then in about 2 minutes. But in the meantime, enjoy the following. All right, I'm back. All right, thanks for the 2-minute break. Always can use one. Um, back at it. Yes, I do cycle through the chat. Yeah, that's a lot to do with it. My plan is to like stream every day for like an hour and a half minimum every day. And I'm like, I'm going to need a break. And I also ran that idea by Earl to kind of put some advertisement on that stuff too. So, uh, yeah, I did. I did. Good to see you, Kyle. Good to see you, man. Just got home. Good. But yes, I do cycle through the chat. I want to thank Mender too, thanks Mender, appreciate it. Or Coyote, yeah. You all have different names, and I still remember your old names. That's the sad part. He's going on. He's going to. Okay, well, first of all, it's going to be kind of hard. Like, see, the problem Trump is running into is there's these things called laws, and he is slowly but surely being forced to follow them. And I think he's going to lose that fight. But I don't know. He's clumsy, and not everybody likes him. So I don't know. He's kind of a bull in a china shop, and even when the china of your own people starts to get broken up, that's usually when the bull starts to get put down. So, but I'm watching this one with interest. So we'll see. As a political scientist guy, I'm in there. So an ad from Chris. No. See. There's so many things going on in a stream, and you just get to a point where I got to catch up. Yeah, I think that's the most funniest comment about that. Thank you. But yes. I appreciate the blue. You're roaring for the blue wave. Oh, I hope it's better than the red wave of 2022. That didn't come out to very much. Oh, you guys are dragging me into a political conversation. I would say that like every incumbent president that I know of, historically speaking, on average, it's very rare for them to gain ground in Congress at the midterms. Like it's an American thing. Americans tend to counter the power of the president with their voting in the first place. The problem is, I know the real stats about Donald Trump, and he is underwater in a big way, even with his own supporters. Like a lot of his own supporters don't like him anymore. It's not so much that they'll vote for the Democrats. They may just not show up. Okay. Like they may just not show up to the polls and not say anything about it. But yeah, I can see that happening. Like because the margin in the House is pretty narrow anyway. In fact, they've had a couple close calls where it's almost flipped already because of people retiring or quitting or whatever. So it's the Senate that I'm very, very interested to see how it goes. But I think the House will definitely flip. But because that's already been close a couple of times already. And I'm just amazed at how much Texas has changed. So much so that Democrats are campaigning in Texas. And that used to be a red state through and through. But in the last 20 years, it's not been that anymore. So just an analysis. I try to be an analysis about these things. But yes, there's good hope for a blue wave for 2026. I think there is. Assuming, of course, some state of emergency doesn't get declared and all of a sudden we're not voting this year, which I think could easily be countered by people. What, you're afraid you're going to lose, Trump? You're going to lose, huh? And so you're going to change the rules because you don't want to lose. So I think you could do that. I think you're going to end up having midterm elections. So one way or the other. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, it's cranky. It's kind of, but that's the same thing that happens here in Michigan and Detroit. Like, as much as everybody outside of Detroit hates it, Detroit controls so much because of the high population of where Michigan goes. If the Republicans win in Michigan, it's usually because you got like Reagan won Michigan twice, and the way he did it was the Reagan Democrats voted for him. And that's kind of what you have to do. You have to be a Republican, kind of a rhino, to get elected in the state. And so it's like and I think I was in Texas long enough to kind of say, it's Houston and Austin and Dallas Fort Worth in some respects that are voting blue, and the border region is voting blue too. So like along the Rio Grande. So it's like, I can see why the Democrats have a lot of more hope though, because the population is changing. So you had a bunch of people move from California to Texas too. So it's an interesting that it's becoming very close to being what I would term a battleground state. So from an analysis point of view, it's like, that's very interesting. It's changed so much in the last 15, 20 years. So smart by throwing out future Democrat voters before they're allowed to vote. Maybe I don't know. I've read a lot of statistics about immigration voting, and it's 50-50. Like I don't know if there's a good study that shows that that's true. I'm speaking purely analytically. Okay. Like it's like, I've been trying to find some information about how future immigrants vote, and it really depends on where they come from. So yeah, trust but verify. I get that reference, Martin. It's a good one. With the U.S. is why I say it does not matter who wins, is that the foreign policy, nothing really changes. Living in Austria, given the love of war for both, it's worrying. Yes. I've had that argument with some Democrats recently. Like, Obama did do much the same thing that Trump is doing now in the Middle East. Like, just because he's bombing a different country doesn't mean yet that Obama didn't bomb people too. Like, when you look at both performances, both presidents have misused the War Powers Act. Like Rand Paul said yesterday or the day before when the bombing started, he's like, I'm sorry, this is a presidential war and they shouldn't be, basically effectively saying they shouldn't exist. Okay. The president shouldn't have the power to do this. So, and yeah, so there you go. God doesn't want to show himself because he's afraid of hurting free will, but God wants a relationship with me. God is closeted, forever alone. Needs to go spy. Yes. That the hiddenness of God argument came up Saturday too, at Saturday Night at the Atheist, and I thought it was interesting in the way it came up, because a lot of us, that's why a lot of us have trouble with faith anyway. Like, God is supposed to love me and care for me, and he wants this intimate relationship with me, quote unquote. I'm not sure they mean intimate in the same way I would, but it's that missing, like, if you're this omnipotent, omniscient God and just a little bit of proof of your existence would go a long way to keeping me in the faith, why don't you do it? I made this argument from 1 Timothy, I think it's 2. Yeah, 1 Timothy 2, the first part of it, it's like your pseudo Paul is exhorting everybody to pray for all men because God wants everybody to be saved and come to a knowledge of the truth. And then my response to most Calvinists at that point, if that's what God wants, why doesn't he get it? And that's where the free will bullshit comes in. But it's like, it's the hiddenness of God is a big one for a lot of people. I put it in my top 3 reasons why I'm not a theist. Like, show up, bro. Like, you've loved me, show up. Like, there's a lot of things that in my life that it could have been better, if he had just showed up and demonstrated that. So, yeah, this is a horrible narcissist. Like a person, I've had to apologize to some people for my ignorant comments. As you have, yeah, oh yeah, like when I was a theist in the Assemblies of God, Nathan, don't feel embarrassed by that, man. Like, people should understand, okay, that you make changes in your life. I really hate the expression a leopard doesn't change their spots, because it's certainly not true with human behavior. People change. I mean, I'm literally a guy that was a fundamentalist, Assembly of God, Pentecostal Christian, and now I'm not. I'm anything but. Okay. And your politics does change because of that. Now, I always caution people, don't just make a leap into a certain political stance simply because it's the opposite of what your faith believed. Okay. You need to analyze every issue and figure out where you stand with it up here and in your heart too, in your emotions and your psyche, like where is it with all that? So, and yeah, yeah, Bren says it well, past comments are past comments. You move on, like it can't be helped. Okay. You can't do anything about your past other than say sorry and move on. Like it is the way. So Love Me or Die, yes. Some brutal horror films, yes. But yes, from a deconversion point of view, though, Nathan, don't beat yourself up about that stuff. You got to move on at some point. I've had to move on. Like everybody in this room has probably had to move on from something they did in their past. So, yeah, aren't influenced by more. Yeah, it's you've got to, like, I think the best way to handle any political issue or social issue is to before you make a decision about it, go read everything you can, get both sides, listen to everything you can. Like you at that point, then you're at least going to make an informed decision. And if you're already leaning some way, go deliberately look for somebody that leans the other way and see what they have to say. Like it's there are some good people out there on all sides of an issue that will sit down with you and talk to you why they hold their view. Okay. And so, I think there's a lot of people that get out of their conservative fundamentalist religion and they just jump completely to the left because that's the way they think they should. But it's like, everybody's not wrong all the time. Okay. So, yes. Yeah. This is the unconditional love versus conditional acceptance in heaven is a contradiction. That's been one. Yes, I'm fully acknowledging that, Felicia. It's like there's Ken Hovind. I get it, but I live in a red area of my state, and there's a lot of people that would give their shirt off their back if I was really in trouble. Like they're not that kind of person. There's certainly things they believe about life, the universe, and everything that I don't agree with. Okay, doesn't mean that a person can't be personally have good morals and care about people and I think that gets lost in the political rhetoric of both sides. Like there's assholes on both sides and there's really good people on both sides. It's just a matter of, how much of that is sacred to you. Like, there are people that have very sacred political beliefs. And it's like, you got convincing people to at least think about it is the most difficult task I've ever taken on since I started this channel. So, having then a Pentecostal and an evangelical. Now, all that is history. I feel so much better now. Yes, exactly. Once voted video. Yes. Video killed the radio star. Yes. But yes, there are some very good people out there and they're just good human beings and it doesn't really matter what they believe. And I try to remember that. Like I really try to remember when I'm dealing with a theist that there's a human being behind that. That's probably a decent person most of the time, but for some reason they got to just say stupid bullshit to atheists now and then just to feel better about themselves. I don't know. Just push you center left. Yeah. Some fun stats a few days ago. Suppose there are 900 million worldwide, 600 of which are evangelicals. The ratio because there are so few here. Yes. Worldwide religion is very interesting because I've told people like we can get in such a Western mindset thing, but Christianity is still doing very, very well in Latin America both the Catholics and the evangelical Protestants, particularly Pentecostals, are doing very well in Latin America. Africa has a growing Christian population. China reportedly has a growing Christian population, although I don't think it's as big as everybody thinks. Christianity, an evangelical Christianity form, is still doing very well in much of the world. Like, we forget that we don't live, in the part of the world where most of the population is. Like, nobody wants to live up here in the ice and snow. Like, they don't want to live here. And so, yeah, evangelicalism does very well. I know for a fact it does very well in Latin America. Like, Mexico on south and the Caribbean, like an evangelical Pentecostalism is doing very well. Like, when I was still in the Pentecostal church, even back then, they were reporting revivals that when you looked them up, they were legit. So evangelicalism, as part of the Protestant Christianity, still does very well. It has the built-in, go out and to all the world and preach the gospel thing, and it works. And so I have to remember that I live in the Western world, and in the Western world, like Europe, United States, evangelicalism is taking a lot of hits, particularly in Europe, but it's not. It's one of those things that sometimes boggles atheists in my country, but it's like, guys, there's a worldwide out there, and Christianity is very alive and well, particularly in Latin America and Africa. Like, it's very much alive and well. And parts of the United States, the Deep South still has, it's, the Bible Belt isn't as Bible-y as it used to be, but it's still pretty strong. So I don't know. Yeah. Well, they need to get over it. And that's part of the problem with the liberal side of the aisle. They tend to be very unforgiving when people do see the light. Well, you used to be this, so pariah, kick them out. And it's like, everybody seems to do that, and it bothers me. Like, you can't change your mind or even be considering an issue off the dogma of either side. And it's just like, I knew I didn't get along with Catholic War when I wrote an essay in the 5th grade of why I thought Ross Perot was a better choice, and it boiled down to everyone else sounds like a prick. I remember Ross Perot. You people. You people. I remember that expression. I don't know if I can still do my Ross Perot imitation. You people. But I remember that election. It looked like, I think Ross bowed out right at the last minute, and he actually had a pretty good chance to pick up enough electoral college votes where he could have been a tiebreaker. And I would have loved to have seen that from a political science point of view. Purely from the politics of it, it would have been entertaining. But it didn't happen because he bowed out, because the poll numbers were showing that he was hurting Bill Clinton and he was helping George Bush. And so he bows out, and Clinton won, not by a majority, by the way. That's kind of been true. So, but yeah, I remember Ross Perot so well. He was a very interesting candidate. Like, I really wish he had finished it. Like, let's go do this thing. Let's get into the ballot box and see what happens. But yeah, I get it. But the amount of evangelicals doesn't surprise me, because worldwide, I think evangelicalism is very alive and well in, like, Latin America, Africa, behind the Chinese dragon curtain. I think evangelicals have gotten a toehold in there. That there's something appealing about evangelicalism. Like, it's active, it's involved, and I think people like it that way because of that reason. So it's like, it's one of those things where you feel like you belong to something. Like, I remember being, as an evangelical Pentecostal, one of the things that really got me into that was the fact that I felt like I was being part of something bigger than myself. And I felt like I was doing something for something greater than myself. And that's a big appeal. And to Protestants who came out of Catholicism, if you study the history of Protestantism, because they wanted to be different and they wanted to actually do something, and they actually wanted to live the Christian lifestyle, because the Catholic popes had been so awful up to that point. Yeah, I think that it's just amazing. Yeah, I agree with that. Like there's always going to be Christianity in China, but there's some stuff in China that's just it's culturally. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like in Europe, evangelicalism is probably a very small part of Protestant Christianity. Protestant Christianity is very cultural to Europe, okay? But elsewhere, it's not as cultural. Like Latin America for years was Catholic Christian, but the evangelical Pentecostal Protestants have kind of invaded Latin America with its very heavy, you know, cultural appeal. It works for their culture. So it's interesting. I'm with you on the rigidity of that's what go right wing politics. Where I said I've had enough of this crap. I got and started estrogen. Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. Okay, like I, as a libertarian, I know that's why I don't get invited to some of the atheist parties that when they talk politics because I'm not in either camp completely. I take each individual issue and ask a simple question: which gives the which option gives people the most individual choice and freedom and frees them up from governmental control without harming others? Like, what option can we do there? And I also have this inbred distrust of government in general. So, and my 56, almost 57 years of life have kind of proven that out as I look back at the history of government during that time. Like, it's just not been good. And when a person says, you know what, I think I'm changing my mind on something, and then all of the other side just, all of this person's side just bashes on them. Like you saw this, like I was joking with it about Kirk Cameron when I was on Mighty Philbert's show just Saturday night, but I was like, I feel for Kirk Cameron because he changes his view on hell and everybody turns against him. Like you're not allowed to do that. Well, liberals do that too. Like if you change your view, like if some liberal came along and suddenly said, hey, you know what, I kind of see the point that conservatives make about the economy or guns or something like that, the hue and cry that happens. Okay, like it's like, well, no, they've changed their viewpoint, and maybe we need to have a discussion about it. Nobody knows how to like have a discussion with somebody that has a different viewpoint on a single issue anymore. Instead, they just label them a heretic or, you know, you're too woke or you're too MAGA or you're too whatever. And it becomes a problem. Like you can't have a discussion on stuff like that anymore. And it gets really annoying to me. So, yeah, Slick Willie won it. Yeah, 45% though of the American public. Because some people still voted for Ross Perot even though he left the ticket. But no, neither side got more than 50% on that one. So nobody had the majority of Americans behind them. Slick Willie got that one. Yeah, it's. I would apologize for that. I was probably responsible for some of that, Michael, that export of evangelicalism. Yes. So, yeah. It's hard to me from switch from Protestant evangelical to Orthodox. The fasting and prayer of the saints confused me. Yes. Orthodox is very Catholic in its way of doing it. And I saw a video the other day. I wanted to watch it, but I didn't have time. There was a guy who did I can't even remember who, because it came up in my feed, but it's like, why did Orthodox Christianity not have a Reformation? And so it was fascinating to me because then I suddenly realized, you know what, they're right. Like, because you had, you know, the Western Catholic Christianity eventually had a Reformation through Martin Luther and all that crap, you know, and various things that came off of it, the Lollards and all this other stuff in England and things like that. Like you had all this back and forth between people that disagreed with Roman Catholicism, but Orthodox Christianity in the East didn't really have that. They didn't have a Reformation. I was fascinated by the topic, but I didn't have time to look into it, so I'm going to have to look it up later. But on national TV, I thought he looked like a car salesman. Nothing in the past has changed my mind. Yeah, you know, the thing about Slick is we all had a good time. he had a good time. Monica Lewinsky apparently had a good time. Everybody had a good time. It's a cultural export, yes. There you go. Hey, Robert, how you doing, skeptic? We're just being heretics. I'm just being a heretic today. I had a theist come in here earlier to ask me, a pre-supper asked me, like, did my atheism exist in my mind or reality? And it's like, I really hate that question, but it illustrated a few points for us. It's been nice so far. Everybody's been really polite, sad. Doing a great job. His followers are showing how Christian love works. Oh my gosh. When Apologia did that video, I was like, Kirk Cameron changed his view on hell. That kind of kills the whole, turn or burn, doesn't it? When he was working for Way of the Master, he was all about the hell thing. And now he's like, nope, I don't believe it anymore. And he lost dates he was speaking, that's how he makes his money. Now I don't think he should worry too much, because I think there's going to be other Christians that do believe in annihilationism, and they're going to start inviting him to their stuff. So it's it's kind of one of those things where some Christians are going to start to hate you, and other ones are. It was just amazing to me, some of the quotes by some of these apologists defending God and his ability to, as he roasts people in hell forever and ever, that we're all going to applaud and clap that. I'm like, you want to tell me that you have a good moral foundation there, bro? I don't think you do. So, there. Heresizing. I made the remark when I was a Christian, heresy seems to be just, if you go too far off the reservation of what your particular group of Christianity says, then you're a heretic. You can go part way off and just be in theological error, but at some point they call you a heretic. Change their minds is so 1945-ish. I've been around too. Sometimes I need to remind them that there's another side and not to trust either side. Yes. I have, if there's one disgruntled thing I have about my country, is the two-party system. It seems strange that we only have two parties in a country as big as ours. It's really weird to me. And the only reason it stays is because everybody's afraid to lose. They're just afraid to lose. Yes, he was the highest in any, and he had bowed out of the race too. He got those votes after he left, but he couldn't get himself off the ballot, and so they still voted for him. It was amazing. It actually didn't have the monolithic authority. Okay, so maybe that's actually valid, Cranky. I think that, when you look at the Orthodox Church, they have a patriarch, but I don't think he's as powerful as the Pope. And I think that might be a valid point. I think the thing with Western Christianity and the Roman Catholic Church is you had a series of popes, they were just plain straight up bullshit. When you have several popes that have brothels inside the Vatican, it's kind of is that something that Christians are supposed to do? And so you end up having people challenge that authority. So yes. So close. It needs to be semi-closed because you're talking about a bigger part of the voter base from voting in the primaries. Yes. Yeah, it's bleh. What's my problem with the argument from Tag? Let me think. I have some notes written down here. Argument from the argument from Tag. It's not unique. There's no uniqueness that says that a certain God is the ground of being. Any God could claim that. I do think it's a category error. We can have descriptions of stuff. I think it's a circular argument. It kind of assumes God's existence. in order to make the argument. And yeah, I don't think that, I think you can account for logic and all that other stuff without a God. I think you can do that. So yeah, tag kind of just disappears for me. The transcendental argument for God is what we're talking about. And it's like it has the same problem all the arguments for the existence of God do, because there's always some premise in it that assumes the existence of God to get to God. So they all have that, and tag's no exception. So some people really like their hell. Can't take that away. Yeah, I know. I was just amazed I'm watching Apologia's video reporting on Kirk Cameron, and there's some of the guys in there that are literally like, when you get to heaven, you see all your friends in love, you're going to be applauding because you're going to see the justice of God. And I'm like, what? You want to talk to me about how there's love and Christianity? Like, what? Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Yes, we are heretics because we serve fangs. I forget. Even the Grandmaster of the Fluffle forgets. So you'd help him to groom the flock. Yeah, and the thing about it is, if you study your popes anonymous, there are several of them that did that. Like, they had brothels in the Vatican, they had parties. I think there's one pope who actually sold the office of pope to another person. Like, I mean, like, and when you come out of all that, then it gets very, like, the authority is supposed to be the representative of the faith, like, on earth, and they don't do that. They're not any better. Yeah, it begins to do that. So it's like the authority gets to be questioned at that point, and I think that's where you end up going with it. So it's interesting that that happened, but I think that's probably, like, I don't think the Eastern Orthodox Church had as many similar problems. They probably did, but the Western Church was like, you're supposed to be the representative of Jesus Christ on earth, and I don't remember Jesus Christ having a brothel. So it's like, I don't remember that. So yeah, they exist hidden to being, yes, religion, not against it. Flag the groom. See you later, Nathan. You have a good one, man. And remember what I said, man. Don't worry about your past as much. I know it's hard, but yes, past is the past. You can't do anything about it. You got to be better from now on. Paid for by tithes and noble patronage that maintain a high resale value. Yes, the Orthodox can marry too. I think that's another plus. Like, their people can get married and stuff, and so I think that's another plus. I think the whole celibacy thing has been something that they should have chucked out a long time ago in the Catholic Church. So, fair. I mean, he had camp followers. Like, there's even a list of the women that followed Jesus around. They make a note. So, hey, Evan. Yeah, you are coming to the end. I got like 5 minutes left, and then I got to call him. So, could be. Like, they were all close. There's a disciple who Jesus loved, Michael, and we don't know who that is. Everybody assumes, oh, that's John. I don't know. John was leaning on his breast at the supper. That doesn't sound like the behavior of a bro. That sounds more like maybe Mary Magdalene is the disciple Jesus loved. Like, there's a lot of things about that one that I get there. Possesses the same attributes of the. What would that grounding be? You're doing a very big if. Okay, and the laws of logic aren't laws in the sense that you're making them like that. They're logic is a tool that human beings have created to test their reasoning, and they're constantly changeable. They don't have. I don't. People talk about logic and logical systems, but I don't know if they talk about laws of logic. I think the only people that talk that way are like presuppers. Yeah, and Cranky answers asks the obvious, what do you mean by grounding? Okay, like that seems to have a, why does it need to be grounded? Why does it, what is grounding? How does that work precisely? Yes, what is the mechanism? Like it's, once again, tag is a problem, okay, because of these assumptions. Okay, like, and why couldn't then the grounding be some other God other than the God that you perceive? Like, why can't it be something else? And so you haven't proven that the only way to ground these things is in a God, and that's your burden of proof to have, not mine. So, but like human beings come up with rule. I don't know of anybody that talks of the laws of logic as if they're descriptive natural laws. I don't know that that works in philosophy. I'm not sure that some people would describe them that way. So it would be grounded in sense data because it's actually really only all we have. Like there's certain, everybody makes presuppositions and assumptions. That's true. But if you're going to presuppose God, you have to kind of prove that that's something I should presuppose. And unfortunately, you don't have that. So we don't have that proof. Grounded in fangs. I rep fangs at a reading I went to today. My costume was Rabyd Atheist. Oh, that's great. Outstanding, Evan. They can't be grounded in reality. That's true. Yeah, I just don't. I like some of the things that they talk about, like grounding. What is exactly grounding? Like they never define it. There's assumptions about that their terminology is something everybody understands. That's kind of a confusing way to do apologetics. This is why the title is so apropos today, because it's like it's not readily accepted by, certainly I don't know of any atheists that'll listen to a presupper and go, yeah, that's a really good point. And I know there's many Christian apologists that are like, yeah, I don't think that's a good point either. All right, so there you go. All right, I got a couple minutes left and I got to get ready to go to work, but I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I appreciate all of it. You guys have been great tonight. It's been a good discussion, a lot of good stuff from politics to all the rest of it. So appreciate all of you doing your thing. Thanks, special thanks to Josh and Cranky and Martin and Coyote. Thank you guys for donating today. It keeps my stuff going. Appreciate all of that. But yes, 3 second counters are better. But yes, grounding with a circular deity to attempt. Okay, there we go. There we go. There's a good definition. But thanks everybody for stopping by. Appreciate all of you in the Rabyd Nation. Gotta go, gotta run. But may fangs not cause you to be confused with presuppositional arguments that are circular and don't do it. But may he nibble on all of your hearts. May he draw you closer to him with his pointy fangs, which will hopefully cleanse all the religious corruption from your vegetables. May he make sure you leave out that wonderful circumcised carrot for fangs. He might take the carrot instead of your stash, so make sure you put it back on your stash, because then you might have a chance of saving it from him stealing it. So there you go. That's my helpful advice. Make sure you wiggle all your noses at your fellow fluffers and nom nom and all that. And as always, folks, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. And so you want to take all your time, your money, your energy, your opportunities, and give them to yourself, the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'd be happier if you do. And don't waste them on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. Thanks again once for stopping by. I will see you all again this week on Wednesday. We'll be doing another edition of Red Letters, Red Flags. We'll be talking about the part of the Sermon on the Mount where it says that anger is a thought crime. So I'll see you all then, and I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you. See you all then. See you all then on Wednesday. See you then.